I'm Sevil Mikayilova.
And I'm Claude Salhani, and this is News in Focus.
The world was shocked by the terrible events that unfolded in France last week. 17 people were killed in Paris and in other towns of France by a group claiming to act in the name of Islam.
In the aftermath of these attacks, two things have surfaced. One is that there should be more tolerance between groups, and we should be more tolerant of the other, whoever the other is. And then also the old theory of the clash of civilization has surfaced, that people are saying this is a clash between West and Islam, and this is where it's going, and this is where it has been going all along. I disagree. I think that it is not a clash of civilization. I think it is a problem within the house of Islam that needs to be resolved by Muslims, and therefore if the problem is within Islam, the solution has to come from within Islam as well.
And also, we know very well that the people who claim to fight and kill in the name of Islam, in fact, represent a tiny minority, and they cannot be and shouldn't be introduced as a general Muslim population.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, some experts are talking about a major reformation within Islam, and I think to discuss that, let's invite our guest from London, Fiyaz Mughal. Okay, well, Fiyaz Mughal, Director of Faith Matters. Some scholars are advocating that the problem lies it's not a clash of civilization, as we said. It's a problem within Islam, and if the problem lies within Islam, the solution, therefore, has to come from the Muslim community. Some scholars are saying it's time for a major reformation in Islam along the lines of Vatican II. Is that something that can be seriously considered?
Well, I think these are two very, very good points. I think the reality is that many Muslims see the solution within Islam as you have suggested. And I also think that many are not calling for any kind of major rechange of Islamic scripture, because actually, if you look at some of the other scriptures of other faiths, there are some difficult texts. So it's not just an issue around Islam. What Muslims are saying today is, how do you take faith and place it in a modern context? Some people may say, well, that's a kind of a reformation, but actually many Muslims don't take to the term reformation because of the kind of Christian tradition attached to it.
Correct.
But what they are saying is that we need to put Islam with its solutions within a modern context, which involves issues such as, women have the right to have equality right across the board. Issues around how do you work with communities are different to you, and also things around issues such as LGBT communities. I mean, giving equal rights to all individuals includes respecting and being tolerant towards people with different lifestyles, different faiths, different traditions. Right. That's the context in which that discussion is taking place. But Muslim communities are becoming very active because of the default position. If they don't become socially active, then the narrative of Muslims being a problem wins, and so Muslims are realizing that.
Right, absolutely. So how do we go about doing this? I mean, it's the people concerned. Granted, they're a minority. The 1% of 1.8 billion people is still a lot of people. And as we look at and learn from history, we look at, for example, when the IRA was active in Great Britain, it didn't take many of them to mobilize the entire British Army and keep them busy for a long time. If I remember correctly, I think we're talking about 150 hardcore members of the IRA. Here we've got 10 times those numbers.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think your analysis is spot on. I mean, the reality is, it takes a small number of people on the basis of terrorism to mobilize a counter-reaction by the state, which in a way radicalizes other people. That's what they try to do.
Exactly.
So you're absolutely right. We're in a position where there's a small number of people, but a significant number of people who potentially could cause significant issues in terms of not only security, but counter-reaction by the state.
Yes. Absolutely.
How do we deal with that is becoming pretty evident. One, clearly, if they break law, going through the criminal justice system is one way. Mm-hmm. But the second way, which is important, is about the community saying that these kind of narratives, these kind of thinking, the stories that they produce are completely not acceptable. The third thing is to get young people socially mobilized, and they are slowly becoming socially mobilized through the internet and social media to produce counter speech to actually drown out the messages of extremism and radicalization. And I think that organic growth from the community which is taking place is going to be the solution to try to not only push aside, but in many instances overcome the very narratives of extremism that we're trying to tackle. But last thing, when people were going to Syria, in the UK, the parents were speaking to the police and saying, actually, my young son or daughter has disappeared and that needs to be dealt with. Yep. So actually families are coming forward and saying to the police and the state, actually, you know, I would like my son and daughter to have a life, but actually they've gone out to Syria and I'd rather they be alive than dead. So telling you for your help.
Well, that's a positive development, because it means that the parents are participating in the community in which they live, and they feel they belong to that community. I think that's a very positive step.
Precisely. I think you've hit it on the head. The reality is it's people feeling a part of the state,
right?
Not detached from the state.
What makes one society more tolerant than another?
You've asked a question which if I had a complete answer to, I'd be a very rich man. But let me try to answer some of that. I think tolerance includes, first of all, the state having a set of laws which allow people to have an equal status in society. So you have to have an equality framework in the law of the state to start off with.
What should be done, how do you think, so to protect the society from such negative impact of intolerance, let's say?
Well, I think the first thing to protect society from such intolerance is document. The first thing is to make sure you get the relevant documentation and understand the problem. The second thing is to, as I said, clear political messaging saying that things are unacceptable for the state. So, for example, attacks on synagogues or mosques. That message from the leadership should be, this is unacceptable. This is not what our values are about. Spot on.
Okay, well, Fiyaz Mughal, Director of Faith Matters in London, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your analysis.
Thank you very much, and to the people of Azerbaijan, greetings. We absolutely adore you out there, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it seems the key lies in integration. Respect your culture and respect the culture of others. Like in Azerbaijan.
That's a perfect example, Sevil. I'm glad you raised it, because Azerbaijan is a perfect example of cultures, many cultures living together in harmony. There's no difference between different religions, different sects, different clans, different ethnicities. I wish other countries, other cultures would copy what we have here.
And also, I should say that multiculturalism is a lifestyle here in Azerbaijan, a country with 90% of Muslim population, a country where tolerance reigns, and a country where respect to other cultures is on the top. You know,
I think it makes it makes the society richer when you have multicultural.
Exactly.
You take from the other cultures, you give to the other cultures, you learn more, you live more.
And also, I should say that here in Azerbaijan, so you will see many nationalities, many minorities, national minorities who in fact
let me interrupt you for a second. What do you think makes that? Why is it that you have this in Azerbaijan and you don't have it in other countries?
I know. The secret of this multiculturalism, in fact, lies in history. The history says that Azerbaijanis, in fact, for many centuries, for many years, lived together as one family. The society is interrelated, and there is closer integration. There is deeper integration within the society, which makes it very strong, very powerful in the sense of culture, in the sense of tolerance.
But why do you have it here and you don't have it in a country next door?
I think this is a nature of the nation again. So this is a secret, I know. And every time when we hear this question, what is the secret and what lies in the root of this intolerance?
Can this be exported? Can you export this tolerance?
I think in this sense, Azerbaijan can be a very best model for many nations in the world, both in East and West, to take as example and to apply.
And do you think that, I mean, if they haven't been able to export this over the centuries, they've had it in the country, will it change now? Will the internet make a difference? Will modern society be different? There's more travel, there's more
Yeah, I think so. Even when tourists, when visiting country, others, they also notice this tolerance, and they're very, very surprised seeing all religions
You know what has surprised me here is the way Christmas is celebrated.
Yeah, I was going to mention this fact that here in Azerbaijan, so this Christmas and other holidays, and I should say religious and both traditional holidays of other nations are celebrated together, which is a very good example and which can be a very good example for other nations.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
This is a wonderful country, really, with its ancient roots, which clearly shows that
you know what this tells
respect.
me? You know what this tells me? It tells me that they are not afraid of strangers. They're not afraid of different things. What brings conflicts between peoples, between countries, is the fact that they fear the other. And I think the fact that Azerbaijan doesn't fear the others, they accept them for what they are.
Again, this is the root of, this is ancient roots of an ancient civilization here in Azerbaijan.
Yeah, but you have ancient civilizations all over the world, Sevil. You have ancient civilization all over every continent.
But the uniqueness of the ancient civilization in Azerbaijan is that there is integration, as I mentioned before, integration of cultures, integration of religions, and respect, of course, first of all.
But I think this tells me one thing. It tells me that the fact that they are open to these other societies is that they are at ease with themselves.
Yes, this openness maybe, and you mentioned this it's a very good remark, that openness to other cultures makes the society in this way. So very tolerant, strong both economically, politically, and of course opens the ways for others.
So if you had one word to wrap this up, what would you say?
Respect again others. Respect all cultures.
I like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.